Danny, could both teams feel that they could have got something more than the point that we had to share here?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game for the neutral. Lots of goal-mouth action, probably both ends. We played against a really awkward opponent today. You know, we've been here 7 games now, and probably in all the opposition analysis work we've done leading into games, we probably felt that Sutton were the most awkward opponent that we've played. And when you consider where they are in the league, people may be surprised by that, but I think they get the ball forward very, very quickly. Harry Smith is a real handful. You deal with the first, they pick up the second, they've got good second ball winners in midfield, they get it wide, they put the ball back in your box, and they ask lots of questions, and they ask you to defend from literally every situation. So not an easy opponent on a difficult pitch. Having said that, we showed in the early part of the game, the first goal shows that we, the pitch didn't stop us, and I was proud of the players for trying to play, because we knew the opponent was like a heavyweight boxer and we're not, so we had to be brave enough to play. And I thought the first goal showed that we could do that. And probably, that sometimes moments in games can have a big swing on the momentum. And I think we're 1-0 up, we're in a really good place in the game. I think Arthur Reed has a free kick, it's the inside of the post. We don't quite follow up and score the rebound. And then within minutes they score what was a disappointing goal from us, and that kind of changed the complexity of the game.
Yeah, and the other thing that Sutton bring is experienced physical players that look for physical weaknesses in the opposition and they want to bully you. We kind of stood up to that pretty well, I thought, defensively.
Yeah, well, when we come in, we knew that the team had difficulties against this type of opponent in the past. And I was really proud of the way the players stood up and competed. I felt that we defended well on the whole, because they are a team that ask a lot of questions of you. I was just disappointed that we found rhythm at certain times in the game. I thought we had a really good opening spell, and we had really good place in the game. I just thought we looked a better team than them in those early moments. And then beginning the second half, I think again we found a real good rhythm. We had good control. We played in their half, and then we seemed to be able to be knocked off of our rhythm just with maybe one bad decision or one poor execution. And we need to learn to be a lot more durable than that. And that I suppose is our challenge moving forward.
Yeah, and like you say, our goal was a really good football goal. Cameron McGeehan making the box like he does late from that midfield area.
Yeah, well, brilliant from Owen, really good from Jaden Richardson. I think Noah did well. John then had a shot, and Cam does what Cam does best, which is just time his runs and arrive as the ball arrives, and a good finish. And of course, he was just marginally offside for the second goal that got disallowed. And again, that would have just before half time would have been an important moment.
Another positive was how we defended well towards the end of the game, where it looked like they were getting a bit of momentum, putting balls in the box, like you say, from anywhere and everywhere. But we stood up to that really well.
I think we did. I think we did on the whole. I'll be honest, I want more for us. I just want more when I wake up excited about this team, and about the potential and what we could do. And if I'm just being totally honest, after every game I just feel a little bit disappointed that we don't quite get to the levels that I think we're capable of. I think we get there in periods of games, but I don't think we don't sustain it for long enough. And good teams are able to sustain it for longer periods in the game. And I don't think I expect too much of them. I think that they're capable, and I just think that we as a group have to find ways of being more resilient, more durable, and sometimes just doing the basics really well. There was quite a lot of times, that game was a really simple game tactically. We had to deal with the first ball, we had to pick up the second ball, and then we had to secure and make the first pass and the second pass. And as soon as we made 2 or 3 passes, we got into a really good rhythm. And then we found some good moments. But too often we get into their half and we feel like we've got to score the moment we get into the half. And sometimes, absolutely, if the counter-attack on, I think Jalen Feather has a really good counter-attack moment early on. If that's on, then take it and try to score, of course. But the moment the counter-attack ends or is not available to you, then just stay in. because football's a game of momentum, and then we can just stay in their half and build our attacks and sustain our attacks for longer, and that will give us, I think, a better control than what we had. The game felt like too much like a roller coaster ride for me, and I don't like roller coasters.
You mentioned Jayden Fevrier there, and was he kind of a victim of being a young player, experienced player, had heard the whistle go probably and thought he had almost had a free tackle on Jayden, and that's what
Yeah,
made
maybe.
him kind of
I think for me, I with all the young players, I try to see the positives and all the great things that he did. And I think he did some brilliant things in the game. Of course, for all the young players, their learning curve is that much steeper. So there would have been loads of takeaways from him in that game. And he is honestly, out of all, I've worked with some brilliant young players. I've been fortunate enough to work with some brilliant young players in my career, but he is so studious and he's so keen to want to learn. He's always into me, Nicky, Lorenzo, to do his clips and to watch his games back. And so the great thing for Jayden is that he's a good learner, and he's humble enough to want to learn. And in my experience, these players that have these qualities, and also obviously the physical quality and the technical quality that he has, normally tend to do well.
And of course it was an away game, and we talked about Sutton kind of having that momentum at the end, but we didn't let their crowd get kind of too behind them because of the crowd that we had following us.
It didn't feel like an away game, not to me. It just felt like it was a home game. Our supporters, honestly, I don't know, maybe 1,000, something close. They were incredible. From the first minute to the last minute, I just thought they were so with the team, and they drove the energy. They could see that it was a difficult, awkward game for us today, awkward opponent, difficult pitch. They never got frustrated. They stayed with us, and I thought their support was brilliant. It was so deserved. Their support was so deserving of a win, and we're so thankful for them coming in their numbers. And I know some of them will no doubt be able to find their way to Manchester on Tuesday, because we could really do with them again. And then of course on Saturday, which is a brilliant game against Stockport County, which pretty much for most of the season have been champions-elect. So no, we've got a great week ahead of us, and yeah, just so thankful to the supporters and the way they got behind the boys.